Now, I'm sure you will not have forgotten that across the way from us we have three delightful ladies all saying that they are Virginia Hendricks, 74 years old, and on her honeymoon. Let's find out the whys and wherefores of this and go to Sherry Henry, please.
I don't believe any of you, none of you look 74. I think you're all lying. Tell me, number 2, what happened the first time around? Who jilted whom?
I beg your pardon?
Did somebody get rid of somebody the first time around? Was it an unhappy break?
No. No, indeed.
Number 3, what happened the first time?
Excuse me, Sherry, you're talking about the engagement,
The engagement,
not the marriage,
and
yes.
then you broke off and married other people?
No.
Number 3, what happened?
We just agreed to that we were too young at the time. We wanted to finish college. So as we waited, and then we met others and married other people.
Number 2, is there any difference in the marriage procedure now than there was in getting married when you first did?
I don't think so.
Licenses, blood tests, anything that's different?
Well, you do have to have a blood test, of course. But
Number
that's
1,
always been the same.
The same. Number 1, what did your children think of your second marriage, if you have children?
My children said, "Mother, you're old enough to know your own mind."
That's delightful. All right, let's go to Nipsey.
I was married once, but it wasn't legal. The girl's father didn't have a license for the shotgun.
Now, you know that's not true.
Just making it funny. Number 1, in whose house do you now live? Yours from your first marriage or the home of your husband?
Well, my husband is a minister, and ministers do not have houses. They have manses, so he's coming to live with me.
I see. Number 2, were there any personality carryovers from your first marriage to this one? In other words, do you expect things of your second husband that you had gotten accustomed to in your first marriage?
No, I do not.
Number 3, what did you wear on your wedding?
Well, I wore a very nice blue lace dress.
Blue lace.
Yes.
And did you have bridesmaids from your?
I had my sister come from Canada and stand up for me.
Number 1, where was this marriage held?
In the Presbyterian Church,
In what city?
Hopewell, New Jersey.
Hopewell, New Jersey.
And on to Kitty Carlisle, please.
Thank you. Number 3, is your husband a minister too?
Yes.
And did you correspond during those 51 years that you were separated?
No, we only met casually about 3 times in all that time.
And, oh, go ahead.
Very seldom that we were in the same city. We lived about 80 miles apart.
I see. Number 2, did you think about him during all those years and think maybe it would have been all right if I'd been a little older?
Not especially.
Number
no.
2. Number 2.
Would you repeat the question, please?
Did you think about him during those years and feel that perhaps if you'd been older, it might have worked out?
No, I don't think so. I thought of him off and on.
Thank you. Number 1, when you saw him again, was it love at first sight?
Again?
Well, I mean, after all those years.
Well, nothing had happened in between. I just felt the same.
But you had loved him all those years?
Well, subconsciously.
I see. Number 3, had you loved him all those years?
Oh, my. On to Bill Cullen, please.
Number 2, I can't help being curious about the telephone call. Gary said after 51 years, he called you, after all this time you were both married, he called you on the phone. What did he say when you answered? Like, as I was saying, or before we were disconnected? That telephone company really does it, number 2. Now, what did he say? What was his
Hello?
and you said hello, and after you established that, how did he say, I want to see you, or what was his?
Yes, I wonder if we could meet, and we could have a nice visit and talk over old times.
And number 1, after that phone conversation, that original phone conversation, did you have an idea that there may be a possibility of reestablishing the old relationship there?
I'm afraid so.
Well, you needn't be afraid, number 1. Number 3, is there anything you learned in your first marriage that you did not do? In other words, you say, well, look, I did this in the first marriage, it wasn't so good. In other words, have you benefited by being married once before?
Oh, ever so much.
You think this one is going to be a better marriage?
Yes, you know how to be a little more patient and a little bit sweeter and nicer.
I think many people have said that's true, number 3. Hear, hear.
We just had the bells, not wedding bells, but balloting bells, friends. If you will, mark your ballots and decide whether you think it's number 1 or number 2 or number 3?